What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Nate here from Out of the Basement, bringing you a brand new figure review. Today we are looking at the Target exclusive Gamorrean guard. Of course, this finally hit shelves in my area. It took long enough. I've been seeing people post on Instagram, everywhere, all over, getting this figure super early. But I finally got one, and I'm super happy. Can't wait to share my thoughts with it. So let's take a look at the package, then we're going to look at the accessories, then we'll get into the figure. So as you can see right off the bat, the box much bigger than a normal standard Black Series box. This guy is also more expensive. He is $29.99. So I'll kind of be judging him as one of the deluxe figures. So we'll take a look at the package. You can see the nice window there. You got the Gamorrean guard and his weapons on the side. No number, of course, because it is an exclusive. There's the back. There's the bio. If you want to read that, you can go ahead and pause it. Not too much on the side here. Just says Gamo. And so let's go ahead and get this guy open. Okay, and here are his accessories. He comes with 2 axes and a spear type thingy. I'm sure some true diehard Star Wars fans will let me know what this is actually called in the comments down below. But let's take a closer look. We'll start with the smaller axe here. And right off the bat, you can see something very unusual for Hasbro, and that is the weapons actually have paint on them. Holy crap. They've got little details on them, little rust that looks pretty good. Some chips in the axe. Looks worn, looks used. Very awesome. I like the way the wood looks on the handle as well. I believe that is also painted. Looks painted to me. You can kind of see it's a little sloppy right there around the top piece. You can see some of the gray paint, but that's not really a big deal. Okay, then we'll move on to the second axe with the bigger blade here, and you can see again the same rust paint effect is used on this blade as well, and it looks very good. These are probably some of the best weapons I've seen in the Black Series, period, just because they actually are painted. Even for the deluxe figures, I feel like Hasbro really usually skips out on the weapons. So that looks really good. Very excited about that. And then this, the spear, they I guess they forgot to paint it. I don't know. They painted those 2 weapons beautifully, and then this weapon is just straight gray plastic. Nothing too special about it. Right here, you can see the plastic. You can kind of see it, but it's a little bit white there from when I took the figure out to take my first look at him, and I tried to put the spear in his hand. It made that sort of mark you get when the plastic gets too stressed. So you might want to look out for that, because his hands are really tight, and I feel like the only way to put the spear in his hand is to just force it in there, at least in my experience. So I did stress the plastic on this, and it left a permanent mark. So that was the accessories. Let's take a look at the actual figure itself. Okay, and here is the Gamorrean guard out of the packaging, looking amazing. I think the level of detail on this figure is some of the best of the Black Series, so let's not really waste a whole lot of time, and let's get a closer look at the Gamorrean guard. You can see right off the bat, the level of paint apps that is actually on this figure is awesome. There's nice shading deco on the shirt area right here. The pauldrons all have this wonderful, nice silver paint on them that is very shiny. On the back of the head and the helmet there, you can see the stitching on this like little leather piece, along with some black and brown paint to give it a nice sort of weathered look, which is just really awesome. I was really happy that this figure turned out well, because the other deluxe figures have kind of been disappointing for the most part. So I'm happy to report that, at least in the Gamorrean guard's case, the paint apps are on point. He does also have this cloth skirt right here, which feels really nice. It's nice and soft. It's just a piece of fabric, though. You can see underneath. You can see that fupa. So taking an even closer look here, just look at how smooth and how good the paint is on the face. Totally perfect. The eyes are nice and straightforward. I'm sure people have gotten googly eyes, but I like the little brown on the nose there. It's a nice little touch, and around the eyes as well. And the green face looks really good. Lots of nice detailing there, and you can see that it's lighter around the front of his face, and then around this point here it goes into a darker green. So some really nice paintwork on this guy for sure. So let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation here. His head, he can look forward pretty far. He can look down. Looks pretty good. You have to move his head up into this position if you would like to get a look at the articulated jaw, which it's kind of hard to see in there, but the tongue and everything in the back is there, sculpted, painted, also keeping in line with the really good work. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. His mouth opens really far, but like I said, you have to kind of push his head back if you want it to get it to work. The further you push his head down, the less jaw articulation you get, which obviously that makes sense. Shoulders can go out this far. Kind of have to give him a little oomph. This arm definitely can go higher than this arm, but I don't want to force it. Not trying to break this guy. His arms do move back and forth, but of course the pauldron gets in the way. He has single jointed elbows, but it's that nice deep cut that I believe we saw in Qui-Gon first, so you're gonna get straight up 90 degrees right there, and that's awesome. Then of course the wrist moves around, and it is on a hinge as well. For waist movement, you've got full range of motion here. The underneath part, this is soft plastic, so you can kind of see into the figure there, the actual figure underneath it. But yeah, you've got full range of motion here with the Gamorrean guard, so you can get him in all sorts of crazy poses if you want. His legs, unfortunately, because of the plastic piece, do not move out that far, so you're not going to get a whole lot of movement out of there without stretching out that plastic piece, which, I don't know, to me it's fine because I'm not really going to be posing the Gamorrean guard in a lot of crazy poses. I'm probably just going to have him with his axes standing next to Jabba. So he does have double jointed knees though, which is really nice. They do work perfectly. You get that full range of motion there. So if you want to have him posed in some crazy pose, there's at least some options there. Of course, he does have ankle pivot, and his foot goes up about that far and goes down really far. So pretty good articulation, all things considered, on this figure, at least in my opinion. Now with the weapons, what I was saying, you know, he's got this really closed, got a real closed grip on both hands. Of course you can separate them if you want. They're not like, you know, stuck together, the thumb and the index finger, but it's just kind of hard to get that spear in his hand, so I've just been having him with the axes in his hand just for the sake of, I don't want to mess up that spear any more than I already have. So now let's compare him to some other Black Series figures. I've got two Black Series figures lined up here. First off is bootleg Boba Fett. Right here, straight off the presses of China, because I'm not paying those Boba Fett prices, but I'll be happy to get a real Boba Fett from the archive collection. You can see that the Gamorrean guard is of course pretty short, and I think that this scale does look pretty good. Boba Fett's a little bit taller, obviously he's a lot skinnier, and yeah, I think that looks better than expected, honestly. I kind of thought that maybe the Gamorrean guard was a little big. And of course, here is the Gamorrean guard next to Jabba the Hutt. Which, yeah, now seeing them together for the first time, that looks really good. Of course, usually Jabba's like on a hoisted platform, so you can imagine the scale would look different when you have that image in your head of the movie, and then you see the action figures, and you're like, is he too big? But no, I think the Gamorrean guard is perfectly in scale with the rest of the line. Obviously, smaller figures like SH Figuarts, if you wanted to throw this guy in with those, you're going to run into some issues because he's probably much bigger than most SH Figuarts. I don't have any Star Wars SH Figuarts to compare him to, so I can't really know for sure, but I'd have to imagine that this guy would be too big to fit in with that line. So all in all, I think this is a really good figure, probably the best deluxe figure we've seen released so far in terms of paint apps, in terms of just overall quality and look. This guy is heavy too. He's got some good bulk to him right here in this upper torso area. I know I said this piece was soft plastic, but he really does have some weight to him and it feels really nice. So of course, I'm definitely going to give this figure a recommend. Of course, do not pay over retail price for him. It's a Target exclusive, so chances are, at least in my experiences with Target, you will find him at some point. So I hope this guy gets the shelves flooded with him, because I'd like to pick up another one. I'd like to have two. You can't just have one Gamorrean guard, you gotta have two. So yeah, those are my thoughts. That was my review on the Gamorrean guard figure. Let me know what you guys think of this figure in the comments down below. Have you picked him up already? Are you planning on picking him up? Are you mad because Target is having trouble getting this guy out to everyone across the United States? So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Of course, I'm Nate from Out of the Basement. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.